Hello everybody, it's Holger Mueller here from Constellation Research, welcoming you to episode 105, welcoming my fabulous co-host Liz. Liz, what's up? But first I need to do this for consistency. Habemus Papam, right? I can't just announce that the Pope is dead, we also have a new one, and he happens to be American, right?
I don't think anyone's tuning into CRTV to find out the status of a Pope or any religious, or quite frankly, world leader. That's what I'm going with.
People want consistency, right? The largest real estate company in the world has a CEO again. So I mean, that's good.
They do. The largest holding company in the world is now under new leadership. We got a whole new vibe happening.
And the transition seemed to have gone smooth. So.
It seems to have gone smoothly, so congratulations to them. They didn't have to bring any of the major consulting companies or firms in to smooth that change management process. So
we have hundreds of year-old change management process, right? And the fourth or fifth, we don't know for sure. And the whole smoke signals thing. I mean, this is like
who says you need
right?
Light some fire. It's cool. It's fine. Oh gosh. Well, Holger, listen, the world news is certainly changing. Tech news also certainly changing. Let's get into it and talk about what has been happening in your world. Listen, silly season is kind of we're almost over that hump. We're almost over the end of silly season. We've probably got about like a month more of this madness. Where have you been the last couple of weeks?
I was in Boston, from all places, like opposite corner from San Diego, as you show from my background, right? I'm doing the eyes right now. So last week was IBM Think. This week it was Informatica World. Conveniently only Las Vegas. Still Southwest managed to delay my flight more than it takes to fly there, which is always frustrating. But okay. So IBM, quick takeaways, right? IBM, I mean, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was worried about IBM to a certain point. I've been on public record for that and saying like IBM cannot only be about hybrid cloud, and otherwise it will not be the IBM as we knew it once upon a time. By now, they have added significantly more legs, right? The whole research push which has come out on the AI side, yes, hybrid cloud to a certain side, they did some interesting thing on storage, but also one thing near and close to my heart is quantum. Last keynote of the day, they kill you by keynote at IBM Think. They have 7 keynotes in 2 days. But seven keynotes, yeah, on all the topics, right? So Jay Gambetta, head of IBM fellow, head of quantum was there, and he said next year will be quantum superiority and commercial use cases in 2029. Have to do a little sidestep here, because I used my Boston is one of the quantum centers. I went to a startup called QEra, different approach than what IBM is doing, atomic based. I was for the first time in the room of a working quantum computer, which is the first, right? And workloads were coming in the way how quantum is going to be deployed via Amazon Bracket, right? People deploying it. QEra didn't even know what they're doing, but I could see the atoms doing stuff, right? So very, very cool. Good to see major progress. Right. Over to you. What did you do last week?
Oh gosh, listen, silly season for me started going towards things like ServiceNow. I don't know if you heard this rumor, Holger Mueller, since I know that this 3-letter category of technology is very near and dear to your heart, and you often conflate it with a 2-letter category of strategy. But did you know that ServiceNow has decided to just go ahead and tromp on through and completely try to redefine, or at least modernize and bring forward a version 2 of CRM?
You said it.
They're a CRM solution now, dude. ServiceNow is in CRM. Listen, just a couple takeaways around knowledge, because yes, got to go to Las Vegas and hang out with the team at ServiceNow. And I would say the same thing of watching IBM Think from afar. So much is changing in both of these organizations. IBM, people want to say like, IBM. You've often said you were worried about IBM. We just talked about that. But for a company that has been on the Fortune, 100 list since the inception of the list, they are back, right? They're back, and they've hung on. All the other firms have, come and gone, and you've seen the rise and fall of those. But IBM continues to reinvent and reposition itself. I think it has a lot to do with their CEO and that measured, humble approach that he certainly takes. He's not out there trying to be a big blade of grass. He's not, he's just pushing that pushing that organization forward, and really challenging that thinking, which I really appreciate.
And what I like, he's a former product guy.
Yeah.
So he knows it's about the product, it's not about the service, it's not about the marketing. And he ran research where he was maybe kind of parked, and he became the surprising CEO, which he then now staying because he does a great job. So kudos to Arvind Krishna for really putting IBM back. They even talked about DB2, which I was missing since years at the keynotes, and web methods for integration. So all what their customers care about. Yeah. So good coming back from IBM.
You see that reinvigoration through someone who needed to be at the top. Like, he is the CEO IBM needs right now. I think the same thing is true of Bill at ServiceNow. When you're going to make this type of pivot, when you know, for so many years, ServiceNow has really been investing in the plumbing, right? Like in a lot of the non-sexy things, making sure that the foundation was there, making sure that a platform actually existed. So when you go out and use the language, we're going to be a platform of platforms, you better have a platform, right? Like, you better actually have what you say you have. And so ServiceNow has really been very methodical about doing that. But they have always, from really their foundation, from moment one, they have been a customer-led innovation shop. If their customers need it, they will throw everything, all the firepower will get thrown at it when their customers are like, we want this, like, you better go get this for us. And they do it, and they find a way to commercialize that, and they do a very, very good job of that.
I see it a little slightly different. I think ServiceNow is the prototypical example of someone building something that works, which was IT ticket service management, having a case system connected to a knowledge library and answering that, and then replicating that for any possible use case where in the real world you need cases, which is super legitimate. My concern has always been, you're going to run roadway, right? I've been to 3 nows. Every time I would ask Bill, don't you have to become a destination, right? So I'm really missing not to have been last week. Said, Bill, let me ask you a typical question. Don't you have to become a destination? Oh, wait, you're becoming a CRM and HCM vendor, right? So, which is interesting. Yep.
And I think that switch and that pivot, and not just being the platform of platforms, but as even Bill said, like, we're going to be the AI of AI, right? Like, how do you pull all of that so that you have that visibility across the enterprise? It is resonating. There was a very practical push from customers on the floor of problem solving, right? Like, yeah, okay, great. AI sounds awesome, but I need to go solve the problem. Can I do that with AI? But how does it all connect? So it was about big partnership announcements. It was about solving those problems with partners, and the flow through, not just on ServiceNow, but how that flows through the rest of the organization. And yes, CRM is going to be part of that, because those business applications, you know, quite frankly, that connection to the customer is still an opportunity, and they're making it a huge opportunity. But what I saw on stage, aside from all the announcements, was Bill McDermott dancing, which sounds haunting. I understand that, right? For those of us who have gotten to watch him in the past, he's having fun. He's having a great time up there being the disruptor. He loves it, right? He loves it. And he's having a good time, but what that's translating into for the organization is that they're having a good time selling. They're having a good time problem solving, and it's not fake. It's not like, hey, we're going to put glitter cannons and everyone have a good time. Like, it's not that. Everyone was literally like, I solved that today. I'm going to go party. Like, they were really excited about that. So I actually really enjoyed seeing it. And then, of course, last week, I got to see, this week, we're in a time zone. It's a time warp. But got to see the folks over at Pros. I mean, one of these days we were in Vegas. One of these days in Vegas, got to see the folks at Pros, got to meet their new CEO. Like, and this is the guy who, when you've had a CEO for 20 plus years, who is passionate about the growth of the enterprise, and, like someone like an Andres Renner, you're not going to, that could have been a really tough transition. But Jeff Cotton's coming in. I'm super excited to see where he's going to be taking the organization. Super excited to see kind of how everything that Pros has been very, very good at. Pricing, addition into selling, AI, that numerical, AI foundation that they've had for a very, very long time, how they are translating that and transitioning that into a far more dynamic and robust sales and marketing business business intelligence, and quite frankly, something that we talk about an awful lot, right? They're an intelligence automation company now, right? They are a decision automation company now. And it's not just about travel. It's not just about B2B. It's about that whole process. And then got to see someone that you and I talk about a lot and talk to a lot of Creatio. I know you want me to say it a different way, but that's just how I'm going to say it. I'm American. I can't help myself.
Damage of 6 years of Latin makes you pronounce it different.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you, here's the thing that I can tell you. If I'm going to summarize my 2 weeks, my 3 weeks, dang, I got to see a heck of a lot of really strong CEOs. And, with Creatio's CEO, she stood on stage and was like, I call things what they are. We have a dedication to diversity. We have a dedication to help people. We have a dedication to our people, but also the community around us. So we're going to keep investing. We're going to keep investing in DEI. We're going to keep investing in Ukraine because it's a war. Like, she just got out there and was like, boom, like, this is what we're doing.
Nice.
So it's kind of the year of the strong CEO, and I'm here for it. I kind of like it. So
talking about strong CEOs, right? I was in Vegas right when you left, right? Nobody there. Everybody was there. Nobody there. I had to wave the Constellation flag on the Las Vegas Strip. Nobody with me, but fine. Talking about strong CEOs, right? Amit Valia ran products very similar to a certain point, like Arvind Krishna, in charge of the whole company. Very comfortable with what we're doing. Informatica is partnering with everybody. They added NVIDIA and a bunch of other big name partners from that perspective. Solid progress on the product. Had a partnership for putting MDM on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. It's running on the other clouds already. Solid progress across the board. Informatica keeps doing what they're doing, is integrating and getting things working together, which other people haven't been working together.
Yeah.
So, very similar.
Well, listen, next time you guys see us together, we'll literally be together. So we'll, and you guys are going to see a little of that actually coming up in this episode, where Holger and I are going to be together in Orlando, Florida for SAP Sapphire, where we're going to get to see, listen, does this trend of strong CEOs being comfortable on stage and owning what it is their organizations are doing and transforming, will we see that with Christian? So I hope so. I think all signs point to yes. So I'm looking forward to that. But hey, I'm going to see you in a couple days. We're going to see in a couple minutes live from Orlando, but you're also going to see some other great news updates from us here on episode 105 of CRTV. Hope you guys have been enjoying, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello everybody, it's Holger Mueller here from Constellation Research, continuing my tradition upon popular request of doing more airport on the road in the background of the Uber videos. Here at the San Francisco airport, making my way back home, actually, to a skiing trip in Colorado, last skiing of the year, from the Oracle apps industry, and then broken down the different functional areas, HCM Summit. As usual, held in Redwood Shores in the beautiful conference center of Oracle, but a windowless room. No idea it was nice weather outside there. Followed the typical setup of general horizontal presentations on day one, and then breaking down in the different function areas on day two. I, of course, attended the HCM track. So overall, Steve Miranda, as usually, does the honors. Felt a little low energy. I don't know. This should be the best moment of Oracle in terms of relative strength to the competition, being SAP and Workday. Focused pretty much exclusively on the values of the suite, the uniqueness of Oracle being a SaaS vendor, not only with PaaS with database, but only with IaaS with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and the abilities of doing AI there, which then later was built down with the man who gets all the critical stuff, Chris Leon. We'll talk about this in the sequence. Mike Cecilia showed some very interesting, deep vertical applications. I always wonder, I don't cover verticals necessarily, I always wonder how you do verticals so well and so deep when your horizontal piece is getting more in depth, right? We see that at the other vendors where kind of like vertical industries have taken a pause. Not so much at Oracle, they're very much ingrained. I mean, think of the cash registers and so on in certain industries, so let's keep all going on. There's no question about that. Next was, who came after? Let me check the line. Who came after Mike Cecilia? It was, Simon Jones, of course, did the entry. Oh yeah, of course, TK Anand, right? It's very interesting, right? Something from the PaaS layer on the analytics area. Everybody is building insight to action or analytical apps in the industry right now, and no difference from Oracle. Oracle, interesting enough, made an announcement of a data lake to lie under those analytical apps. The intelligent data lake launched or announced, and now, and as far as I know, not yet in GA for selected customers, which is super, super important. I believe that data lakes and lake houses, whatever you want to call them, are the foundation for anything in the AI area, but also in the analytics area, right? So analytics is becoming a SQL statement that is being analyzed by voice input by an agent or by the user directly, right? And everything is flat in a data lake, house. Technically in object storage, homage to my now retired colleague Doug Henshin, we always had debates about object storage or not. And then Chris Leone, like I said, the man who built HCM, the man who's fixing manufacturing, the man who now has to build also or his teams have to build the AI infrastructure at Oracle. Again, this capabilities of having so many different options how to run large language models courtesy of OCI, which everything, of course, at Oracle runs on, gives them the ability to build things faster. They launched their studio. Everybody's doing studios. I don't know what it is. In March in London, Chris showed very similar, same demos, how easy it is to build these, how you bring together APIs and other elements to automate these pieces, and how you can build agents really, really, really fast. And the next level of empowerment is for customers to build and assemble, as the tagline has been, these capabilities. Last but not least, we had a talk by the head of sales, Rod Johnson, very candid, very unscripted, probably the most honest, down-to-earth, surprisingly open, candid conversation about where Oracle's doing well and not so well in sales. Obviously, I think everything I'm talking about is generalities because the session was under NDA in general, but this is just general stuff which has been said there before. There was an interesting customer panel, of course, moderated by Natalia Richardson, who's doing their customer success. And last but not least, an update on the Redwood side, which felt a little, similar like before, but hey, organic progress is good progress, no question. Then we moved over to second day on the HCM side. First time, Chris Leone wasn't there on the HCM meeting, not even for a fraction of time. So it was all back to Yvette Cameron to run the whole show. She did a good job. She did a great job of that. No question about that. We had Nagaraj Narendra talk about the progress and the changes that agentic AI is bringing into the recruiting or talent acquisition area. And there's, of course, massive pieces on that, right? It's an under-automated area. So logically, a lot of things are happening in that area. Exceptional experience, a topic by Nancy Estelle Zoder, who was on stage a lot, or when wasn't on stage on the conference setting, talking about how you can get better customer or employee experience, better experiences out of the whole set of the Oracle Me offering, which is unique in this space because Oracle is the only vendor who has provided a experience offering to build journeys and more across the whole ERP suite. So, and including CX, right? Then also very interesting, a new idea how to do workforce planning. Good ideas, all agentic, maybe too many agents, maybe not coming out with the right result, maybe also confusing, not so much workforce planning, but more like bringing the right talent in the right place, which is a super interesting concept I love to speak about. I wrote about 2014. I thought it'd be long built by the vendors, and now people are thinking about basically is how to find the best person in a certain job out of the people who are working in the enterprise, out of potential candidates from the outside, and then of course the workers as well. And then things about performance management, how performance management can be fixed. Chris Havrilla wasn't there, talked about that in a great presentation showing the whole vast of performance management capabilities. The core is performance management, of course, needs to be fixed, right? And that's a big problem which hasn't been happening. In some showcase of some interesting IoT capabilities, was nice to see, a mixture of AI, robots, and people climbing on poles and so on. Interesting, great demonstration of the language model that Oracle has built, very interactive. Then back to operational agility. Workforce management is doing really well, right? Oracle was kind of like forced into it by the Cerner acquisition. Workforce management scheduling of nurses is where the rubber hits the road. The rubber hits the road, I think is the saying, yeah, pardon, my gims are rusty. And Oracle built it, not relying on former partner, still partner, I think, in some areas, Kronos. And that capability, because healthcare is so advanced, forced them also to look into further areas. Retail, actually, I remember 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, overtook from capabilities because a subset of healthcare. So significant in-house now workforce management, the last area that Oracle wasn't doing natively in HCM. So good to see the progress. People intelligence, last but not least, in the line of what TK and Ant was showing, building these insight apps, in this case for people intelligence. I think it's the last building these. In the future, I think integration, not only integration, but also analytics will be a SQL statement somehow wrapped into AI. Customer success, of course, is super important. We had some good one-on-ones and conclude the HCM Summit. I think Oracle overall for HCM is now clearly in the leader position, and I need to rev up my requirements for market leaders. I can't just give SAP for ERP or Salesforce for CRM a hard time. I need to give Oracle more of a hard time, because I think market leaders need to lead in terms of vision, need to make bolder steps in what they deliver for these capabilities, and basically move the whole industry. We'll see how they respond. We'll see what they think about this. But clearly from breadth and from native capabilities, especially adding the hard stuff like workforce management natively, in a complex industry like healthcare, in retail and other industries, makes them probably the most advanced, or makes them the most advanced HCM suite by now for sure. So whoever's listening to this, the stakes are risen or raised for Oracle. That's it. Check out my tweets. I made up the hashtag because there was no tweeting allowed the first day. Everything was under NDA. Hope I don't get into too much trouble for talking about the generalities of day one and the agenda. The hashtag is Oracle ORCL, because I want to keep them short. This is Holger Mueller, live from the San Francisco airport, catching my flight to Colorado. I appreciate you watching. I love to hear what you think. You are on the social channels. Let me know what I missed. Thanks, and have a great day.
Well, we're live. We're not only live, but we're actually together in the same place. So,
Exactly.
like, super live.
In the swamps, I
Mega
can see
live?
water from here.
We can literally see water and an amusement park and a castle.
Ferris wheel.
A Ferris wheel.
Everything.
It's like a castle-y hotel. But that's right. Holger and I are live from SAP Sapphire 2025. Holger, we just got to experience the keynote. We just got to see an executive Q&A with the executive board here at Sapphire. First thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good keynote. One of the better ones of the
Really
last
good.
decade, I would say. Like what I really liked it, and that was at the beginning, SAP showed the power of the suite with an integrated demo. They had people playing the role of CFO, CRO, COO, and CHRO. I got them together on stage, showing the power of the suite, which is always a good thing for a suite level vendor like SAP is, of course.
And it was the first time in a very long time that there was a very natural CX moment on stage. I got to call that out, right? Sebastian, I saw you. You did a great job playing the role of the CRO. Super impressed. But what I thought was really nice about that was that even though some people might feel like, hey, well, where was the CIO and all of that? The CIO was literally the demo, right? The CIO was literally what we were seeing on the screen. As all the data, as all of the platform, as all of this suite was really coming together, and what we saw were the people, the leaders, being able to make better decisions because of everything that was running across that platform. So I thought it was a really nice integration of that, and it kicked everything off. But what really kicked everything off was, quite frankly, a performance from Cirque du Soleil, which was like the greatest allegory of people having to jump through hoops and like literally race through fire. It was just basically like a day in the life of IT.
I have so strong antibodies when I'm in Orlando and see any dance and music shows or comedians. There was another vendor with 3 letters, which shouldn't be mentioned. We're like 25 minutes in because there was no news. Luckily, the SAP one was just a dance, but I still don't know why people do that.
It was a customer. I mean, they're a customer. Cirque du Soleil is a good customer. So we had that. So there was a fun moment. It was
a dog and pony deal.
It was a little bit of that. But here's what I thought was really great, and I think it deserves to be called out. This executive board, very specifically with Christian Klein, Mohammed Alam, Philip Herzog, Thomas Sauerseg, they are very comfortable in their own skins right now.
They're feeling good about it.
They are feeling good about it. They are having fun with it. I mean, Christian, you didn't land the putt. Sorry, buddy. But
golfing is not as
you had a great time doing it. There was admission on stage of maybe not getting all the things right the first time. We even saw that in the Analyst Summit when we had a private session with Christian where there was that admission of, hey, like we had to make some hard calls, we had to make some hard decisions over the past several years, and maybe we didn't get them all right, but it was the road that got us to here. And the road to here is a very practical and a very usable set of AI tools and AI functions and a data layer that supports all of that.
The flywheel, right? The flywheel of apps, data, and AI. The data layer is a little weak still. I mean, BDC was only announced, didn't take much on the center stage either, right?
No, it didn't.
There's scope questions, like how much will go in there? Will it just be the data insights applications? Will it be more? Is it going to be the first in contact? So there's some work which SAP has to do. Obviously, it's a newest addition to the family. Huge work, of course, on the AI side, right? Very, very ambitious.
Massive
I compared it only with AWS announcing Q. Boil the water
100%
approach, right?
But what I thought was really interesting about, and I agree with you, I think the data cloud, I think that BDC, there's a lot of work to be done, but there's always going to be a lot of work to be done when it comes to data and making a lift that large of trying to bring that together. And I think they're already seeing traction, which is impressive considering that it was February, right? So between February and now, you're starting to see that traction happen. I think they're also learning on how to enhance that and how to split that off. And, you know, there were even hints of, yes, we started with Databricks, but that's not where we're stopping. So I thought that was very interesting. When it comes to the AI, everything that we've seen so far from a lot of organizations is about their AI within their system that sits across their stack and that primarily looks at their data. We saw a demo today on the main stage of a ServiceNow interface with a Joule toolbar right in the bottom left corner, where it wasn't about asking about data from ServiceNow. Because, hey, 2 weeks ago at Knowledge, we saw lots of ways that you had really, really great ways to ask about that ServiceNow data. What the Joule toolbar was showing was, how do I ask about the business? And I think that is a very different distinction and some really smart integration, and it shows a lot of that partnership coming to life. I certainly was happy to see a partnership being announced that Holger's going to roll his eyes on. I roll right now, SAP and Adobe. So Adobe coming forward with some nice ways to pull all of this ERP data into what we have long been saying is that secret sauce. So I think we have seen, do you remember the first time they tried to announce a partnership with SAP and Adobe?
With Microsoft.
Remember,
too, right?
it was like this whole big thing, and we were all
right?
like, I wonder how this is going to happen. This one feels super real because Adobe is building those connections on everything around BDC, and the great thing is that Adobe, with their unified schema of data across AEP and their experience data model, that makes it real on the Adobe side as well. So this is a really interesting partnership. I'm going to be excited to see how that rolls out on the data with their shared customers.
But for those technically inclined, right? Because I might be saying, what are Liz and Holger smoking, saying, or ICP smoking, that they will bring a Joule button into ServiceNow. Who else did they mention? Well, they were in Gmail, they were in a bunch of other applications. Basically, you have to go down, where does WalkMe run, which is the secret sauce, right? Christian Klein is saying all the time, this WalkMe thing is really paying off, right? Not so much for the guidance adoption, but really to be the Trojan horse, to be in a bunch of applications where WalkMe has been integrated, certified, is working, is helping to do adoption. So it's going to be super critical for SAP to keep WalkMe open and run all these other
100%.
applications, because it allows to unsurface Joule. The big question is, of course, how do you do on the beta data side, right? The traditional way would have been, well, we just take all the ServiceNow data into BDC, and then of course we can do magic, right? Apparently not. So it's going to be interesting, very ambitious AI agenda. It's good for SAP to ambitious, to spend the elastic a little more. Ask in the Q&A, how can we see, is it going to be
what are the milestones,
not, right? And Phil Herzig, who is CTO and runs AI, said we're going to see the first drop in Q3, which is soon, right? So SAP is really moving at un-SAP-ish speed.
They are, but they've also proven that we can actually trust that, which I thought was really interesting, because what they announced in February and what they said that we will see by Sapphire, we've seen it. It's dropped. It's GA. So I take them at that.
Very good announcement.
Very good
delivery performance.
Very good. Well, listen, there is a lot more to come, I am sure, from Sapphire, but those are the highlights from kind of our analyst day and from day one. Hey, stay tuned. We're tweeting here. We're showcasing on CRTV, but we'll see you next time. And actually, we'll see you in like another minute when we close out the show.
Thanks for watching.
Woo, Holger, we did it. We did it. We have gotten through episode 105. Listen, everyone, next time, you know what comes after this clown car. We're followed up by the Real News Wagon, headed by Larry Dignan and our colleague Martin Schneider. They're going to be coming to you in 2 weeks for the next drop of episode 106. We'll be back to you with 107 with lots of other news. We're hopefully going to be heading into a little bit of a summer slump where, you know, when you start to tune into these, we're going to just start tearing apart stuff that we've already seen and start anticipating what's coming up in H2. But on behalf of my buddy over there, Holger Mueller, and everyone here at Constellation Research, couple reminders for you. Be sure to subscribe. Just do us all a favor. You know how to. Come YouTube, LinkedIn, follow us, do all the things. As the kids like to say, smash that button. I don't know what it means, but just do it. Just do me a favor and do it. But until our next episode, we'll see you guys later. I've decided I'm just going to treat this like every TikTok influencer does. And I'm be like, oh my God, guys, if you like what we posted, subscribe down below. That's how I'm going to end every single CRTV. Does that work?
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button, guys. Oh my God, if you like what we're talking about today, then go ahead, hit that button down there. Give me a like.
Yeah, I mean, you're qualified.
Y'all understand that I hate myself now after having said those words.
We already did the video. We already did that. We already did the subscribe video, Hannah. Just edit it out. We'll get our followers, subscribers, whatever they are up on YouTube.
Can you imagine all the great enterprise technology news? You guys, crush that button. Oh my God, get it.
Smash that button before you leave.
Exactly. Smash that like. Okay, guys.
Okay, so we're trying to hit 10 minutes for the news.
That's what I'm going to do, Hannah. Throughout today's, I'm going to do that click-clack bullshit that they do all the time. What's that? I'm going to be like, oh my God, we're opening some fresh news.
Oh.
I'm going to open up some fresh news here, guys. Oh my God.
We need to catch up on TikTok, the can thing I'm not aware of.
It's not of a can. They take any product and they take their fake nails and they click-clack against it. And so they're like, guys, we're going to open this box of fresh, juicy enterprise news. Smash that like button down below. Be sure to follow because it's the best way to support us.
Yeah, we should do a Constellation Goes TikTok episode.
I just angered myself about my own behavior.
Liz, if you were like a teen right now, you could crush it on TikTok.
I could totally crush it. I'd be like, oh my God, guys, have you tried the new chai mocha latte made by AI? It's addictive.
Yeah. Addictive.
What's news? I don't know. This is not where we sit.
This is not where you go to the bathroom. You can't just start. Oh, yeah. Now you can go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah. An episode.
Oh, look, there's a private chat. Hang on. What's in the private chat?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Please.
Oh,
that's so hard. Let's remember the timestamp here. 41. Let's start at 42.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's just waste 30 seconds so that we start at 42. Haha. Wait,
45 it is.